It is Testimony Sunday, and so I thought I would share with y'all a testimony today about dreams, vision, and gifts of the Spirit. So I want to start with the scriptures. In the scriptures, it talks so much about dreams and visions and just experiences that people have had. And so in Joel, in the Old Testament, in Joel, in chapter 2, verse 28, he says, "And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth." It goes down a little bit. "And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord has said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call." I love this. I love the scriptures that it shows us what is possible, what we can experience. Like, it also in Acts has the same thing. I think Paul, was just quoting Joel because it's pretty much the same exact thing that in Acts chapter 2, that just in the last days that God is going to pour his spirit out upon us. And it'll say, "Pour out my spirit upon," well, all flesh. And he'll say, that your daughters will do this, or your young men will do that, or the old men, or the handmaids. But I believe that it's for everybody. We can all prophesy, because these are all gifts of the Spirit. And he tells us all throughout the scriptures that we can receive these things. But as we're living life and we're going about, it's like we can be so wrapped up in this world sometimes that we don't always seek after these things. I think that a big part of receiving is in the seeking, like, and in the asking, and in wanting to have dreams. Years ago, I had a dream that I woke up from that was so vivid. I dreamed about all this road construction, like bulldozers and like just all this equipment that was used to build bridges. And they were like bright yellow. And I could just remember waking up from this dream, and the vision, it was just so strong. And as I went about my day, I go driving down the road, and I saw what my dream was. And I was like, that was really cool. Like, okay, I just dreamed that. And I'm seeing it. And then the same thing happened that same week. I had another dream. I can't remember what it is at the moment, but I've journaled and recorded all these experiences because they're so amazing. And if we don't write them down, then we will lose them. We just forget things, even really impactful things that happen to us. But this dream, it was just so strong. Like, so then my second dream, the same thing happened. I woke up with this vivid dream, and throughout my day, like, the same thing happened. I saw what I had dreamed. And I was like, man, like 2 times in 1 week. I think that what God was just showing me, that this is something that you can have, that is possible, that we can all have. That we can be dreamers of dreams, and that we can receive vision for things that are going to happen. And that is what prophecy is, being able to see and being able to prophesy. Prophesying is also speaking about Jesus Christ, that he is having a testimony of that. It's another one of those gifts that comes from the Spirit as we're seeking, and as we desire these gifts, then we can be given, like I am not special. I am not. I'm just like every single other person in this world, born into this world with life experiences, challenges, all of it. I have had a spirit of seeking. Like, I was born into this world with a spirit of seeking truth and seeking light and seeking knowledge. Like, I love the spirit. I just love seeking the spirit. I just want the spirit so strongly in my life. And sometimes I can get hard on myself thinking that I need to do more, or I need to, what am I not doing enough of? And it's like, it's really, I'm learning that it's in the surrender of all of that where we can truly just be in the spirit. I think we get these ideas in our minds of what it looks like, and that it's these Pentecostal moments of speaking in tongues and just doing all these things. And, and yes, that is part of it, but it's not like those things happen all the time, 24/7, and, in our lives. It's we are living our lives, and those things just pour into our lives throughout our lives at different times. It's just so miraculous, and it's so wonderful. So with vision, we can also be given vision. So in the church that I go to, we don't have paid ministry or anything like that. Like everything that we do in the church is just voluntary. And so we will be asked from the leadership to serve in different callings and different capacities and to do different things. And so throughout my life, I've been given different callings for different things. And a few years ago, I was asked to serve as a camp director. So it was like 7 or 8 different churches in the area. All the young women would come together for a camp. So they asked me to direct this camp for all these young women and for their leaders. And so I had participated, I had helped in other camp creations and stuff. I helped other camp directors and stuff, but I had never served as a camp director. And I really came to understand vision during that time, because God began to just flow into my mind the vision of camp, of what he wanted me to create for these youth and for everyone who would be attending. And it's just amazing whenever we are open to receiving, and when we have like a direction, whenever we know, we're told, I was, given that to prepare a camp. I had my focus. I had something I was going to be working on. And then the vision just came in and created it. It just flew through me. Like, I didn't do it. I was able to learn in that experience, like how to delegate, how to give other people responsibilities, how to it was so incredible, because he was showing me my capacity. He was showing me gifts that I didn't even know that I had, and talents that I was not even aware of. But because I said yes, and because I was willing to be a vessel and just serve in that capacity and do whatever he was asking me to do, the vision came in, and he gave me the ability and the capacity to direct it and to plan it and to make it happen. And it was such an incredible experience. I learned so much about myself. And the same thing happened again in other callings that I received, that I was just given opportunities to receive vision for different conferences and just different events that fell upon me to plan and to create. And it was nothing of myself, because I had never done it before. I did not know what I was doing. And he gave that to me. He flooded me with vision and with ideas and inspiration and with people. It's just incredible what can happen whenever we are just open and willing to do and to be what God wants us to be. And he gives to those who are hungry and who are thirsting and who want that. Another verse in Joel, that something that can help us, because sometimes it's like, oh, well, that's just them. They dream dreams, they have visions, they have gifts of the Spirit. That can't be me. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that is. Well, he shares with us how we can have these things. So in Joel, same chapter, verse 12, this is something that I have learned that has worked for me in my life, that has helped me to receive so much. He says, therefore also now, saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your heart, and not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your God. For he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness. So when we want to have these gifts of the Spirit, when we have a desire for these things, and we see that other people have these things, and it's like, I want to be like that. I want that gift. I want to experience what that person's experiencing. I want to feel what they're talking about, that they're feeling. This is the way to do it. Turn to me. The Lord says, turn to me with all of your heart. And one of the greatest ways that we can turn to him with all of our heart, that is showing him that I'm turning to you with all of me, is to fast. Fasting is one of the greatest ways to submit, to sacrifice, to give our heart. We're saying, I'm giving you my heart. Like, I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to drink, and you have to be careful with fasting, not eating and drinking. Like maybe 24 hours, you don't want to really go too long without drinking. Now, there are fasts that I do where I'll do like alternate day fasting, where I'll drink water on the days that I fast. Because I'm fasting so much, I'm doing it every other day. But that is another way of like asking, of seeking, of showing God that I want you more than anything. I want gifts of the Spirit more than anything. Because the thing about the gifts of the Spirit is that they're not for us. Like, me receiving gifts of the Spirit, that's great. Like, it helps me to feel the Spirit in my life, and gives me direction, and it helps me to be able to handle life. But the gifts of the Spirit that we receive are for other people. I mean, they just are. They're not for us to keep for ourselves. They're for us to share. And that is why I felt so strong to share about my own personal dream about meeting and being with Jesus Christ. Because it's not for me to keep to myself, because he wants everybody to have that experience. And so if you haven't seen that, I've got a video a little ways back. Go watch that, my dream with Jesus. It was just such an amazing dream, because the dream world, just like my dreams about the road construction, and just, it's amazing the way our dream life, our dream world, and this life, reality, it's all just intertwined. Like, we, in our sleep and in our dreaming, are processing so much stuff that's happening in our life. And we can see things that are gonna happen in our life. Like, he has shown me that we're given vision for the future of things that will come to pass. And so many people, like, he is pouring. He says, and it shall come to pass that I will pour out my Spirit upon all flesh. He doesn't say just the Christians. He doesn't say just this church or just that church or just this people. He says, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh that will be able to prophesy, that will dream dreams, that will have visions, that we will, handmaids, pour out spirit on us. Just it's just amazing to me that we can have these experiences, that it's not just something that we read about in the Bible, in the scriptures, of people in the past, and they're talking about all this stuff happening in the future. Well, we're the future. We're the last days. We are the flesh that he is pouring his spirit down upon. And you can just get onto YouTube and you can Google, you can like search for dreams, for visions, for prophecy, for, I mean, there's so many people out there right now who are sharing experiences, who are sharing dreams, who are sharing near-death experiences. I mean, all of this spiritual stuff is real. It is for real. It is. And I'm living it and I'm experiencing it. And I'm filling my life with it. Since having that dream with Jesus Christ, like, there's nothing more important than him. There's just not. Everything is secondary to him. And if that is not the case in your life, assess your life, sit down, look at your life, and figure, ask him to help you. Ask him to help show you what you can let go of in your life that is a distraction, that is not a number 10, that is not bringing you more of the spirit into your life. What things are taking away from the spirit? Where are areas that are keeping us more in this world? Because we are in this world, we are part of this world, you know, but we don't have to live of this world. You know, we can be above it. We can have these experiences that are not of this world. I mean, they're just not. Like, it just, there is so much that we do not know. The more that I learn, the more I realize I just don't know. There's so much I don't know, and there's so much I don't understand. But God is teaching me. Christ is teaching me as I sit with them every day in meditation, as I fast, as I pray, as I get into my scriptures, as I listen to good high vibration music, worship music, things that just like fill my soul and just make me want to just like praise, like, you know, like there are times when I just want to lift up my hands and praise, and just I have so much gratitude. There's so much gratitude in my heart. And that's where it is. He says, rend our hearts, not our garments. Like, rend our hearts. He wants our hearts. It's all about our heart. It's not all about the outer garment and all the outer stuff that we do. All of that stuff, you know, is important. Like, prayer is important. Communication is important. Reading our scriptures is so important. Going to church, going to community, having people to talk to and to worship with, you know, all of those things are part of like seeking him. But those are not him. That is not him. Those are things that add value to our life, that can bring us to him if they're used in that way. I know that for myself, I have many times, it's been like a checklist, and I literally would have checklists. Did I read my scriptures today? Did I pray today? Did I do this? Did I serve? Did I do this? You know, and I'm like checking the boxes for myself to make sure that I'm doing good, you know, so that I feel good about myself, that I'm doing all these things. And yes, of course, I'm receiving from it. And as I'm serving others, they're receiving from it, and there's love all involved in it. Everything good that we do is of Christ. But it's, where is our heart? You know, and I look back and I realize, like, I didn't know what I know today. And as I look back over my life, I could see where I was living, not from my heart. It was more from my mind and from external expectation and people pleasing and just all the stuff just all of it. But today, like, I just want my heart to just be filled with Him. And as I do that, it's so amazing because He's just having me to share, and if I can help just one person out there to feel closer to Jesus Christ and to turn to Him and to feel Him more abundantly in your life, it's all worth it for one person out there. And I hope that it does reach that one person who needs to hear that you can be a dreamer of dreams. You can have vision. You can receive gifts of the Spirit. And so much is just about giving our heart to Christ. And a way that we can do that is through fasting, through surrendering, through sacrificing in that way to show Him, like, I want you more than anything. I want you more than food, more than my habits, my behaviors, all that kind of stuff. My eyes are focused on you. And that is where it's at. That is how we can be the receivers, how we can be sensitive to the Spirit, how we can open ourselves up to things that we cannot see in this world, but that are real and that are true. And we can come to know those things for ourselves. We can come to know things that we cannot see, because, there's a lot we cannot see, but that is true and that is real. And I'm so grateful, and I have testimony of this. I've lived it. I've experienced it. I've felt it. I've lived it. And so can you. And that is what is so awesome. So thank you. Thank you for being here.